Hey everybody, Don Reisinger here today. If you've been watching Adobe lately, you know that the company recently announced its decision to ditch the Flash mobile player in favor of helping HTML5 become a success in the mobile space. It was an interesting, surprising, but inevitable decision. Apple made it very clear from the beginning that it would not support Adobe's Flash in its iPhone or iPad. Other companies followed suit. And it quickly became clear that if Adobe wanted to be a player in the mobile space, it needed to play ball with Apple. And it has done that. But if I'm a shareholder of Adobe, I would have to start worrying about the company. I have to consider the fact that if it's not going to play a key role in the mobile space, all it really has left is the desktop. And the Flash player on the desktop is a security nightmare for Adobe, and it's very possible that it could go the way of the Dodo, just like its Flash mobile player did. If we combine that with the fact that Adobe is really banking much of its future on software, namely Photoshop and Premiere, I just don't know if the company has enough in the bank right now to save itself. The fact is, Adobe needs to do something, and it needs to do something quickly. That means it must start to double down in the mobile space to try and at least carve out a portion of that market for itself, whether it be through technologies, platforms, or becoming just a key player with app developers. And at the same time, Adobe must, absolutely must become a major player in cloud computing. The cloud is the future. And if Adobe simply keeps Photoshop and Premiere on the desktop offline, it's going to be in deep, deep trouble. Now we know that Adobe has tried some cloud computing in the past and it has some solutions on the web, but the fact is it's not enough. The cloud is the future for Adobe. And if it doesn't recognize that, it doesn't double down on that, and it doesn't at least accept that reality, I think we're going to see Adobe continue to slide, Adobe's stock price continue to slide. So, where do we stand with Adobe? Right now, as we know, the company is generating billions of dollars in revenue every year, and it has a profit. And as we've seen over the last year, its stock price has stayed relatively static. But after Adobe announced it was getting out of the mobile business, shareholders started selling the stock in droves. And I think that's only going to continue until Adobe can prove to them that it knows what it's doing, it has a plan to become a major player in mobile, and it knows what it must achieve in order to at least slightly dominate the cloud computing market for consumers and developers.